Welcome, I'm Casey. Today I am going to try to achieve some beach waves. This video is not for the sort of person who is looking for perfection. It is for the sort of person who doesn't have a lot of time on their hands and wants to get a little bit of a different look from the same thing that they usually do, and who haven't been doing these, or who wants to know what using one of these like 3-barrel curling irons would be like, or what kind of look you could use them. I am not going to be doing it perfect. I'm going to do it the way that I do it when I'm wanting to get out the door and get somewhere. I always use at least one, if not two, heat protectant kind of products. This one I think was in FabFitFun, so I'll use it, until it's gone. And then I also use more like the spray-on. This one, the bottle says it's the Formisi Protected Thermal Protecting Conditioning Leave-On. That's not what's in here. I think it's Redken's Hot Sets that's in it. But this little bottle squirts good, so I keep it and always get refills, and I'll get like the bigger size and refill it into this little thing. And sometimes bottles suck and they stop spraying decently, so that one has been good to me for years. I do, even though I'm going to be doing it quickly with this curling wand, I have to do some kind of separating, or I don't think it looks great. So this one is one of the cheapest ones that I think is probably out there, because it's by Revlon. It's not by a great company, but it does have a dial that you can turn your temperature degrees higher and lower. It doesn't say on it what the actual degree is, which, is sad. I wish that it, instead of saying 1 to 30, would say, 0 degrees to 425 degrees or whatever it was. It probably said on the box, but I literally got this a year or two ago at a Salvation Army for a few dollars, because I wanted to try one out, because I'd seen them and I didn't know how they would work, and I wasn't going to spend $80 on one if I didn't like it. And it's been fine, and I'll use it until it does die, and then I can see about getting, a more professional brand. I just really clump it in there. And one thing, if you don't know this already or do it with your curling, if you tilt your curling iron so that your hair is going with the clamp that you put in there, you're going to get a better look than if I would put it in there and do it like this, because that's going to give you a big divot then in your hair. But this ends up, you get a messy enough look from it, or I do, that I don't, it probably isn't like a huge problem either way. And just go right on down, hold it in there for a second or two. And then I put, a rather lot of hair in it, which I'm sure you'd get a better look if you used thinner sections. But my hair isn't super thick, so it doesn't seem to make that much of a difference to me. It just takes way more time. So I will continue on doing this. Does anybody have any great plans coming up next week, which hopefully, if I'm good, is the week that you're seeing this video, because I'm trying to plan ahead. And instead of posting absolutely nothing the week that I do my 7-hour drive back home and work, I'm hoping that I can film a couple of these things ahead of time and then post them while I'm back in Illinois working, so that you don't forget that my little channel exists. My channel. Isn't that funny? Like I'm NBC or something. Start again, clamp in. I'll see, I don't want you to get bored as heck deciding to not watch or just fast forward ahead. So I'll tell you a story. I'm trying to decide what the story should be. I think that when people were doing their Mask Mondays and coming up with questions, one of them was how you met your husband or something. So I think I'll do that one. Or would you rather I do a time I was really mad at a stranger? Because that's always a funny story to me too. Anyway, let's do how you met your husband. I'm from a pretty small town originally also. And we did go to the same high school, but we didn't date at all in high school. And we actually went to the same junior high, but he was always way more popular of a guy than I was. I was not at all in the popular crowd, which I don't blame anyone. I was kind of a weird child, and didn't mind being weird, I think, probably also, which didn't help things. We certainly didn't have tons of money, but I didn't really realize that until I was much, much older. I think that the whole idea of having parents that love you and are attentive to you helps out a ton if you grew up poor. And my two older siblings tell me all the time that I didn't grow up poor, that they grew up poor, because by the time I came around, they had it a lot better off than when they were little. Anyway, why did I start that conversation? Oh, I know. It was because I didn't mind at all wearing old clothes. I pretty much only had like my cousin's hand-me-downs, or like I remember in high school, one of my more favorite outfits had been a house coat of my grandmother's that I belted and put on like grandpa's cardigan and wore it with some hiking boot looking things, and I thought I looked rather cool, but that's not exactly how other people dressed. So and of course with the untreated ADHD, because nobody even knew what that was, and thinking back to, there was definitely people that I know had it in high school like me that weren't treated, and they had it way worse. I think that it is super undiagnosed in girls because they're not always hyper with it. They're just dingy or airheaded is, kind of the term that people would use. I could do the homework, but I had a terrible time turning it in, remembering where I put it, or remembering that I had it in the first place to do. And I wasn't diagnosed until I had a teenage daughter, not quite teenage, maybe junior high daughter, that was diagnosed with it. And I tried to argue with the teachers and the doctors and tell them that everything they're explaining to me, I don't see how that's ADHD. That sounds exactly like me and exactly like my brother and sister and mother. And anyway, they were like, well, have you ever been tested? Because, you know, it could very much be ADHD. It does run in families. And I was like, really? So, like, you mean I wouldn't have to lose my keys every time I sit them down, and I wouldn't have to, like, not know where I stuck my purse, or leave it at the restaurant, or forget that I had homework to do because I'm sitting around not doing anything. I might as well, like, have done that, and I would have had I ever remembered that I had it to do in the first place. So I guess my story isn't going to be about how I met my husband. Apparently it's just going to be about me. But I'm kind of done with my hair. And then when I do my little beachy curls, I like to run some pomade or some spritzy stuff through it. My pomade is one of the only things, because it's short and round, that I don't have a specific spot that I try to put it in up there with my other stuff. This Fat Boy I got in the FabFitFun add-on specials. But I did kind of like that it, you know, just gives it some texture. And what I kind of like with this hairstyle is that it seems to last me more than if I just wear it straight, or if I curl it with a regular curling iron. I think that it doesn't tend to look as dirty as quickly, because my goal, I guess, is for it to look messy. Maybe that's why. But yeah, I feel like this maybe needs to be redone. Is that part a little too straight? We'll re-spritz that area. Anyway, wasn't popular. My husband was. We worked at the same restaurant, though, in high school. And he likes to tell people he did ask me out in high school. And technically he did, at the restaurant, while I was dating a different guy. And everybody in school knew that I was dating him because we'd been dating for like 2 years. And I literally told him I couldn't, because I needed to go home and shampoo my hair, because I'd seen that in some movie or something like that once, and I thought it would be funny to say. And I honestly thought he was probably, like, kidding anyway. Like, you know, it was a joke to play on, like, the nerdy girl. Anyway, he swears that he wasn't kidding, but anyway. We didn't date for like another probably 2 years. And then after I graduated high school, and he was a year ahead of me in high school, so he had graduated the year ahead and went somewhere off to like a 4-year college thing. And I would have graduated in like early June, and my 18th birthday was like the 18th of June, and he was home from college visiting and hanging out with friends. And one of my very best girlfriends happened to be dating one of his very best guy friends. And we were at a party, an outdoor party like teenagers would go to so that they can, like, you know, drink in the woods. He had a blanket and I was cold, and I decided to go talk to him and see if he'd let me have his blanket. And so I think a tip for young guys is to bring blankets to outdoor parties. Really picks up the chicks. And I should have stopped my story because now my hair is done. But I feel like I should finish. That would be rude. Anyway, so we talked, and it was going to be my 18th birthday, and we were going to a comedy club with some friends. So I asked him if he wanted to go with our group of friends to, not like a date really, just with our group of friends to my 18th birthday party at the comedy club. And he said yes. And I do remember going home like late, that night, and talking to my mom and telling her that this guy had said he was going to go with our group to this comedy club, um, and being excited about it, and kind of hoping that he would, I guess, like talk to me more at it or something, so that we could maybe start dating. And anyway, we just started hanging out as friends in our friend group for several weeks. And then I was going to be going off to school, and he was going to be going off to school. And we just kind of were like, well, you want to keep hanging out and talking? And we decided to. And then, yeah, I guess I can finish the story later. All right, bye. Actually, I don't need to finish the story if nobody cares about it. It was, yeah, good enough. You kind of got the gist. All right, bye-bye.